So today we're going to be coding both of my relatively new BMWs, my 2023 G80 M3 and then my 2021 BMW X5. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, basically I'm going to be using Beamer Code, which is an app on your phone, connecting it to the car via an OBD adapter. Now I'm not going to do like a DIY, I've done a whole bunch in the past, so I'll leave one of those videos linked above. But today I just really want to code the cars and see what features there are, because I've done this a whole bunch of times on my F chassis BMWs. But these two G chassis, of course the G80 and the G05, I've never really coded a G chassis, at least not in detail. So kind of curious, there's a few things my wife wants me to code on the X5, so we definitely have to do those things that she requested. And I'm kind of curious to see what else there is for the X5 and then also for the M3. So with that said, we're gonna get into it. So although this isn't gonna be a DIY, I will say guys, if you don't have an OBD adapter, I'll leave some links down in the description below. There are some cheaper Bluetooth ones for about like 40 bucks or so, but if you get a Wi-Fi one, these ones allow you to do more coding on these newer cars. They're way faster. They're like 90 bucks. I know they're more expensive, but honestly, they're worth it, especially if you constantly code and even tune your cars, because this works with not just coding, but tuning and all that type of stuff. So highly recommend it. Links down in the description below. But yeah, with that said, let's start off with the X5 and then we'll go into the G80 M3 next. So I am connected to Beamer Code. Again, this isn't gonna be a detailed DIY, guys. This is more so like if you're wondering what you can code into your car, these G chassis cars, or if maybe you're wondering like, hey, is it even worth me buying the OBD adapter and the Beamer Code subscription, which is a one-time fee. If you're wondering, maybe I'll show you some features that'll convince you to do it. And maybe you're just entertained by this stuff. Either way, that's cool with me. But anyways, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go into some different areas. So let's start off with body domain controller, which I think probably has the most stuff, and it actually has that favorite thing of mine. All right, so the first one, guys, ambient lighting color. So if you guys don't know, these cars have ambient lighting, of course, and they have some preset colors. In my opinion, they're pretty basic colors: blue, orange, green, purple. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. The M3 over there has much nicer colors. These not older, but kind of slightly older G chassis cars, they have pretty basic colors. But the cool thing is you can swap out the bronze color to one of these colors here. So you can see I currently have it coded to cyan, or cyan, however you want to say it. It's a really nice color, but you guys can see you have a whole bunch of options. Of course, the default being bronze. I'm going to switch it to, because I know my wife really likes this color, the magenta red. If you guys don't know, that's a really nice one. But there's a whole bunch of cool colors here. A lot like more intricate colors. I don't know, there's a word I'm looking for here, but they're a lot more unique colors in a way. Not just basic ones. Anyways, we're going to pick that and I'll show you guys the final result. You actually probably won't be able to see because it's daytime. I'll throw a clip at night so you guys can see exactly what the magenta red looks like. But obviously you have a whole bunch of other options for colors. All right, this is one that I know you guys are going to hate me for, but my wife actually asked for this. It's the default driving mode. So here you can see it says comfort. We're actually going to switch that to Eco Pro Individual. So the Eco Pro Individual is nice because I actually set it that the steering wheel is in like a sport mode, so it feels tighter, but then you obviously still save gas. This X5 consumes a lot of gas, so we just want to save gas. My wife likes having it in eco mode right away instead of having to turn it on and then, turn on eco mode every time. So we're going to select that. I feel like that was everything that I wanted to code in this area. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is press on code here, start coding. The car will start to look like it's freaking out, but it's not actually. You guys can see here, you can actually already tell it's starting up in eco mode already. Now we're going to switch to some other areas that we're going to code. So the next thing we're going to go to is engine control unit. So in this one, there's only one thing, if I remember correctly, that I wanted to code, and that is the auto start stop function. In this car, I really don't mind it as much as some of my other cars, but I'm going to turn it off and see how it feels. So I'm going to go to this and I'm going to press on not active. So that seems like it's the only thing I want to code here. So I'm just going to go ahead and press on code again. We'll code that in and we'll go to the next area. So the next area I want to go into is head unit. This one I think has a few things that I wanted to do. All right, so this one, start animation. It says default. I don't know what the default looks like, but there's an M variant. I know this isn't an X5M, but just for fun, I'm just curious to see what it looks like. So we're going to select M variant 1, and we'll see if I keep it or not. If it's cool, we'll keep it. Other than that, let's see. We have tire pressure control. It shows tire pressure only, or we can display the temperature. Why not? More information. So let's just code that in as well. This is another interesting one. One touch turn signals 5 times. So if you guys know, when you hit your stock over here, you press on the turn signal, it goes 3 times. You can actually change the amount of times that it blinks in the iDrive system, but you can only change it to 1 time, which is like kind of useless in my opinion. This coding option, I've never tried in the past with any of my other cars, but it says that you can change it, that it gives you the option of doing it 5 times. So curious, let's see what that's like. So we'll just code that in and we'll check it out. There's some other cool stuff in here like video in motion, some sports display values, but I don't really want to mess with sports display. So let's code that in, and I'm going to see if the startup animation goes off when the ECU resets. So I'll flip the camera for that. So hopefully the camera was able to focus and you guys are able to get a good look at that, but that was actually pretty cool. So I'm going to keep it. I know people are going to hate me for that. It's not an M car, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. It's cool. It's an M Sport, so it is what it is. I already have M logos on the car anyways, so whatever. I don't care. So with that done, we're going to go into the next area, which is going to be the instrument cluster. Now, there's something cool here that I'm really curious to try out, and it's the layout. So if I go to layout here, it says unassigned value, but there's an M option. You guys already know I'm curious about that one. That one in Alpina. I'm going to do M, and we're going to see what this looks like. Otherwise, I don't think there's really anything else in here that I want to do, so I'm really excited to see this one. We're just going to go ahead and code this. And there it is, guys. That actually looks sick. I know the car is still coding, so it's kind of bugging out a little bit, but I don't know if you guys remember what the original one looked like, but this looks sick. That's awesome. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite things. Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I started coding this car, I didn't really have high expectations. But, yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. I'm actually really curious. Let's try out the M Performance and the Alpina just for fun. All right, so this one I think is pretty much my original look, which makes sense because this is an M Sport car. It's cool, but the M1 was cooler. Again, I know it's not an M car, but I don't care. It's cool. We're going to try Alpina, though, and we're going to see what that one looks like. If I like that one, we'll keep it. If not, I'm going back to M. Oh, this one's actually pretty cool, too. It looks pretty fancy. The only thing is, I'm just not crazy about the fact that it's, I wonder if it changes in sport. Oh, it changes in sport, too. That's really cool. So this is comfort for Alpina. This is sport. That's really cool. However, I'm not gonna lie, I still like M more. So we're gonna switch back to M. But yeah, otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it for the X5. I looked through some of the other stuff. Nothing else really seemed worth it to me. Now, overall, would I say it's worth getting Beamer code and the OBD adapter just to code these features into your BMW X5 or maybe another G chassis BMW? Because although it's specific to different cars, you do get a lot of overlap. Like I know the ambient lighting one is consistent among like pretty much all G chassis cars. Honestly, I think it's worth it just for the ambient lighting alone. That alone, I would pay this because the Beamer code, I can't remember. It's been a while since I bought it. I think they bumped up the price. Let's say it's like 50 bucks and then you pay like, let's say another 100 bucks for the OBD adapter, the better OBD adapter, because the Bluetooth one, again, it limits you on what you can code. It's way slower and it's a lot more limited. So if you're all in like 150 bucks just to get some custom ambient lighting colors, I personally think that's worth it alone. Combine that with the cooler cluster, the startup animation, and some of the little more nuanced things like the turn signal thing, tire pressure. I think it's worth it, but up to you guys. You can make that decision for yourself. But anyways, overall, that was actually a lot more impressive than I was expecting. That was the first time I really deep dove into what you can code with this car, although I did the ambient lighting a lot sooner. The next thing we're gonna do is code the G80 M3. Now, again, I'll be lying to you guys if I said I never already looked at what there is to be coded in this car. As soon as I bought it, that was like one of the first things I did. I'm not expecting much out of this car because this car is already an M car. It's already so modern. Like it's 2023, it has iDrive 8, I think it's called. So I don't think there's really much we can do to make it better. But for the sake of curiosity, let's just look through it and see what there is. If there's something worth it, I'll definitely code it. I'm not anticipating me actually coding anything into this car because, again, I think you're a little more limited on what you can do. This car's already so great. Not that the X5 isn't, but, you know, it is not an M car, so I was able to code some M things in there, which was, you know, maybe controversial, but regardless, it's still cool. So in goes our handy-dandy OBD adapter, and we'll connect to Beamer code. So we are officially connected to Beamer Code, and just right off the bat, guys, it's already a lot more limited. Like the options of control units is way more limited than the X5. Similar to the X5, I'll record my screen here on my phone so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about up on your screen while you're watching this. And yeah, just right off the bat, like I'm not going to mess with advanced crash safety module. I'm not going to touch that. Body domain controller, let's see what's there. I feel like you might have ambient lighting here, but this car actually already has such nice ambient lighting. There's a lot more to it though. Yeah, see all the colors here, it's similar to the X5, but the M3 already has such nice colors, and it pretty much has all these colors, so no point in even changing that. You can separate it between like the color and the contour, which is nice. Yeah, otherwise, nothing really good in here, unfortunately. The ambient lighting one is still good. I might change that second color to red, but we'll see. So far, nothing's really pushing me to do it. Let's see engine control unit. Auto start stop. Yeah, basic stuff. That doesn't even turn on because I think I have it off in the car anyways. Let's look at head unit. Yeah, overall, there's the one-touch turn signal thing. So that's a good one. But I'm not as worried about it on my M3 as I am with the X5. Seat module, passenger. Let's look at that one. I'm kind of curious. Seat heating / cooling setting memory. Kind of lame. Okay. All right. I think we're going to end it there. I think the only thing that I saw that was cool or practical was the ambient lighting. But again, this car already has such nice ambient lighting from the factory. You get so many nice options that I don't think you really have to. Whereas, again, the X5, you get like more basic colors like blue, green, purple, but like just straight up basic red, blue, green, purple. So overall, guys, all right, I'll just say this. If you're thinking about coding your brand new G80 M3, and if your car is probably similar to this, I want to say it's worth the money getting all this stuff just to code your car. I mean, obviously you can use it for other things, like to do your transmission tune or something like that, but just to code it, I don't think it's worth investing all this money into it. But if you do have a slightly-ish older, it's not old, it's 2021, but slightly-ish older BMW, I think you have more options. It's very interesting because I feel like on the F chassis, there was way more options of things to code. You didn't have the ambient lighting thing because it wasn't RGB lights, but otherwise you had way more options. I feel like the newer BMWs get, the less coding options there are. Like on my F30, there was way more to do. On the X5, there's a little less, but still a good amount. And then on this G80 M3, there's like virtually nothing, honestly. Nothing at least that I think is worth it. But anyways, guys, if this video was helpful or entertaining in the slightest, please drop it a like. It really helps me out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, with that said, guys, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
All mine if you don't listen that much. Some of y'all don't listen at all. The same they be pushing your butt.